now know when it is we are going to see Caitlin Clark back on a basketball court with other participants. This is going to be rather interesting because we are going to see Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Beckers all playing together.
Okay, you gotta see this. A training video just popped up out of nowhere, and it's got everyone talking. We're seeing Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Beckers all training together at the USA Basketball Senior National Team Camp. Seriously, the internet is having a complete meltdown over it. These three superstars on the same court for the first time in an official way. And of course, the clips are absolutely everywhere now. But this is more than just a practice session. This is a huge statement about where women's basketball is headed. Fans are going wild, and honestly, it makes total sense. So what do you think? Are you more hyped to see them playing together? Or are you a little worried about what this powerhouse team means for everyone else in international competition? Let me know what you think.
Here on ESPN, there was an article put up. Shout out to Alexa Philippou. You be on it, girl. Alexa, you be on it, girl. You be on it. Here it says, Caitlin Clark, Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, and Juju Watkins will be among the 10 players making their USA Basketball Senior National Team Camp day.
So let's break down what happened at Bayview. The internet seriously shattered last week when that footage came out of Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Beckers training side by side. Look, this wasn't just some casual pickup game at a local gym. This was an official USA Basketball training camp, and it all went down at Duke University from December 12th to the 14th. The implications of this are just massive. The whole basketball world is still trying to wrap their heads around what this could mean for the future of women's hoops on the world stage. So let's start with what was actually happening there. USA Basketball put this camp together for a very specific reason: to check out players for the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup. The new managing director, the one and only Sue Bird, has a huge job ahead of her. She has to build a team to go after a 5th straight World Cup gold medal. I mean, that's not just picking a team, that's chasing a legacy. That's trying to keep one of the most incredible winning streaks in all of sports history alive.
The 18 participants also include former Olympians and World Cup gold medalist Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, and Kalia Copper, plus 3-on-3 Olympian De'Erica Hamby. Bree Jones, a member of the 2022 World Cup team, was also named to the training camp squad, while 2023 #1 draft.
The list of players at this camp is just unreal. It's basically an all-star team of the best talent, both current and former. You've got Chelsea Gray, who's bringing her experience from winning Olympic and World Cup gold medals. Brittany Griner is there, and you could argue she's the most dominant player in the entire world. Kelsey Plum is bringing that championship attitude. Jackie Young is there representing that next wave of WNBA talent. Then there's Kalia Copper, who is always a top performer at the highest level, rounding out the veterans. The camp also has 3-on-3 Olympian De'Erica Hamby and Brianna Jones, who actually won gold at the 2022 World Cup. But here's where things get really interesting. The camp is also packed with some of the most exciting young players in the game right now. Aaliyah Boston, the #1 pick from the 2023 WNBA draft, is expected to be there. Cameron Brink, Lauren Betts, Sonia Citron, Kiki Iriafen, Rikia Jackson, and Veronica Burton are all making their first appearance at a senior national team camp. A bunch of these players have already won gold medals with USA Basketball at the junior level, which just shows you how deep their talent pipeline is. Now, for the 3 names that have sent everyone into a frenzy: Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Beckers. These 3 are different. They represent something special. They're the ones who really push the WNBA into the mainstream conversation. They're the players who made women's college basketball must-see TV. They're the athletes who literally changed how people watch sports and brought in a whole new audience. So the fact that they are training together officially at a USA Basketball senior camp is truly a historic moment. Caitlin Clark has become a global star. Her scoring is off the charts, her vision on the court is incredible, and her ability to step up in the biggest moments is just, all of that has made her one of the most marketable athletes anywhere. She's pulled the WNBA into conversations it was never a part of before. Big companies noticed. International scouts noticed. Basically, every basketball fan on earth noticed. When Clark is playing, people are watching. Angel Reese has proven she's one of the best two-way players in the game. Her defense is just suffocating. Her work in the post and her ability to finish at the rim are truly elite. In that competitive fight, it's just unmatched. Reese brings an energy to the court that rubs off on everyone. She makes her entire team play harder, and that's the kind of player that wins titles everywhere she goes. And Paige Bueckers, she brings a level of versatility and skill that is just so high. She can play multiple positions, she can shoot from deep, and her playmaking is top-notch. It all comes together to make her one of the most complete players in the league. Bueckers can completely take over a game when her team needs her to, but she's just as good playing a supporting role. That kind of adaptability is so valuable in international basketball, where you have to adjust to all kinds of different teams and styles. The fact that these three are now training together for USA Basketball changes the entire conversation about what international women's basketball is going to look like for the next few years. When you put their talent, their star power, and their drive to win all together, you're looking at something that could completely change how the world sees women's basketball.
Now, we talked about the fact that Team USA, I believe it is in March, is going to play, I believe, in some qualifiers. That's probably when we're going to get to see Caitlin Clark play actual meaningful basketball again. But training camp is coming. The senior camp is coming.
And it's all happening right now.
This training camp is being run by the newly appointed national team head coach, Cheryl Reeve, who also happens to be the head coach at Duke. And get this, she's bringing WNBA assistant coaches with her, which just shows you how seriously USA Basketball is taking this whole evaluation process. You've got Natalia Tikleva, Nate Tibbetts, and Stephanie White on the coaching staff. These aren't just random choices. These are some of the most well-respected coaches in the game. They're people who have a proven track record of developing talent and running complicated game plans. This whole coaching setup sends a clear message. USA Basketball is coming at this World Cup cycle with the exact same intensity and professional approach that made their women's program the absolute gold standard for decades. This camp is set up to do a few key things: evaluate all the talent, start building that team chemistry, teach the systems they want to run, and figure out which combination of players gives the United States the absolute best chance to win it all in.
Here's the juicy parts. The training camp will serve as an evaluation opportunity. As newly minted USA Women's National Team Managing Director Sue Bird is tasked with naming a team for 2026's FIBA World Cup in September of 2026, where the USA will go for its 5th straight World Cup gold medal. I don't know who will broadcast that, but if
Caitlin Clark is going to be on those teams, you have to look at Sue Bird's role as managing director too. It's a huge deal. Bird is one of the greatest point guards ever. She's won a bunch of Olympic gold medals and WNBA championships. She knows exactly what it takes to compete at that level and what makes an international team great instead of just good. Bird is not going to settle for anything less than perfection when it comes to picking this team and getting them ready. The way that training video went viral tells you something really important about where women's basketball is right now. People are genuinely excited to see these players. They want to know what it's like when they're on the court training together. People get that these are some of the best basketball players in the world, period, and they want a front row seat to that greatness. The fact that a simple training video created so much buzz on social media proves how hungry the basketball community is for content that features these elite female athletes. The timing of this camp is also really smart. The WNBA season wraps up in November, so players get a short break before jumping into USA Basketball stuff. The camp is in mid-December, right around the holidays, which is when more casual fans have extra time to watch basketball content. After that, the real tryouts start with qualifiers in March. If Clark, Reese, and Bueckers are chosen for those games, the viewership numbers could go through the roof. The international basketball schedule is no joke. You have qualifiers in March, then the World Cup in September. You've got Olympic trials coming up with the Paris Olympics leading into the next cycle. The schedule is absolutely packed, and the amount of talent USA Basketball can choose from is deeper than it's been in a long time. The big challenge for Sue Bird and the coaches is to figure out which players give them the best shot at winning on the biggest stages. What makes this moment so special is that mix of veteran experience and young, hungry talent. USA Basketball isn't just thinking about 2026, they're building for the long haul. They're trying to see which young players can step up as the veterans of this era eventually move on. Clark, Reese, and Bookers are the future foundation of international women's basketball. How they do in this camp could decide not just 2026, but 2028 and beyond. A potential Team USA lineup that could have Clark, Reese, and Bookers playing alongside veterans like Griner, Gray, and Plum would be absolutely terrifying for other countries. I mean, just imagine trying to game plan against that combination of talent, athleticism, and pure basketball smarts. You would need a perfect game plan, executed perfectly, and even then you'd have almost no room for error. The competition inside that gym at Duke is going to be unbelievably intense. These are all elite players who are there to prove they deserve to represent their country. Nobody is there to waste their time. They all believe they have a real shot to make that final roster. The practices are probably going to be more intense than most regular season games. That's just the standard at this level. The coaches will be watching everything. Who commands respect on the floor? Who makes their teammates better? Who makes the winning plays when the pressure is on? Who handles mistakes and criticism the right way? Who is in the best shape? Who has the basketball IQ to run complex plays on both offense and defense? All of that goes into the final decision. One really interesting note is that Juju Watkins from USC is also making her debut at the senior camp. Watkins was the National Player of the Year last season, which shows that USA Basketball is looking everywhere for talent. She's recovering from an ACL tear back in March, so she won't be playing, but just being invited to watch and learn is a big deal. It shows that they're thinking about the development pipeline and who could be a factor down the road. The media coverage of this camp is going to be huge if more videos like this keep leaking. Fans are starving for this content, and these organizations know it. Behind-the-scenes footage, practice drills, scrimmages, coaching moments, all of that becomes content that gets shared all over social media. The fact that the Clark, Reese, and Bookers video went viral basically guarantees that more high-quality footage will get out to the public. The impact on international women's basketball is just enormous. Other countries are watching all of this too. They see who's in that gym at Duke. They're trying to figure out what kind of team the United States is building. They're already adjusting their own programs and how they develop players. The whole world of international women's basketball is shaped by what Team USA does, because let's be honest, they've been so dominant for so long that everyone else is always trying to catch up. But this is also a moment where the entire women's basketball community is seeing these athletes get the same level of investment, resources, and attention that the men's side received. The camp at Duke with an elite coaching staff, the evaluation process led by a legend like Sue Bird, the security to protect their training, all of it shows that women's basketball is being treated with the same level of professionalism as men's basketball on the world stage. The story around this viral video is important too. It's not just about basketball, it's about visibility. When videos of elite female athletes training go viral, it makes women's sports a normal part of the content people watch and share every day. It gets the audience invested in how they perform. It builds up the hype for their next games, and for the young girls playing basketball and watching these videos, it's so inspiring. They see Caitlin Clark training against the best. They see Angel Reese pushing herself. They see Paige Bookers running complex plays. These young players are seeing a blueprint for what their own future could look like if they dedicate themselves to the sport. The 2026 World Cup is a chance for women's basketball to keep this momentum going. If Team USA wins, and if Clark, Reese, and Bookers are a big part of it, the visibility and marketability of the sport will hit a whole new level. That tournament could get record viewership, sponsorships will multiply, and the story around these players and their global impact will just keep growing. Looking ahead to the qualifying games in March, everyone will be watching to see who makes the cut and how they play. Will Clark be a start? Will Reese get significant minutes? Will Bookers have a major role? How will they handle the pressure of the international stage? These questions are going to drive huge viewership if the games are broadcast and promoted the right way. The reality is, if a major network like NBC decides to air these qualifiers in the World Cup, and if Clark is featured, the viewership could honestly shock the entire sports industry. Women's basketball has already proven it can pull in massive audiences when it's marketed correctly. A World Cup with some of the most talented and marketable athletes in all of sports could easily compete with other major sporting events for attention. That viral training video was a turning point. It's the moment when casual fans and die-hard basketball fans all realize that women's basketball at the elite level has become something truly special. The talent, the athleticism, the skill, the competition, it's all at or above what many people ever expect. These aren't just athletes trying their best. These are elite professionals playing at a championship level. That training camp at Duke could change women's basketball forever. Seeing Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Bueckers training together officially is just the start. The 2026 World Cup qualifiers are coming up in March, and if these three make the team, the viewership is going to be absolutely massive. This is the future of women's basketball. Let me know your prediction.